Well, hey, Bill, I know today you wanted to talk about sales activity versus effectivity and results.
Yes.
Let's dig into that.
Yes, absolutely. So there's so much focus on helping salespeople to do more of any particular activity, right? Reach out to more people, set more appointments, put out more proposals, etc. And while it's important to drive and to measure activity as performance, we need to think about not just the quantity of actions, but the quality of actions.
Right.
So as I always like to say, it's not just how many you do, it's how many you do right.
Yeah.
So that it results in something. And so today I wanted to talk about, I've defined 8 different things, 8 different actions that a salesperson can take that actually drive deals forward.
Okay.
And when we measure what's happening then in each of these 8 things, and especially the conversion rates from one to the next, we see a few things. Not only do we help people to be more efficient and effective at getting these done, but when they're better at it and they can improve those conversion rates, they can accomplish a lot more than they otherwise could just being busy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
So I'm going to just list these 8 things real quick, and then I'll dig into these 8. But number one, we probably want to measure and think about how many outreach attempts a salesperson is making in a day or a week. How many times are you attempting to get somebody's attention? So we'd measure that. Number 2 is customer responses. So we want to see then, if I'm reaching out 10 times, how many times out of that 10 is somebody actually responding?
Right. Yeah.
The point with that is if I'm getting a fairly low yield on that outreach attempt and it's not turning into very many responses, then I need to look at how am I doing that outreach? What is the content of the message? Am I leveraging different formats or different mediums to do that? Am I leveraging things like LinkedIn and other platforms to get people's attention as opposed to just telephone and email? What am I saying in the email?
Right.
There's so much that we can dig into and assess and analyze once we know that there might be a problem with conversion from outreach attempts to responses. So what I am always a fan of is we look at the people on our team that are really good at any particular action and at getting high results from that. So we might look then at our top performers, those who are really good at turning attempts into responses and say, what are they doing?
Right. What are they actually processing and providing that give them that result?
Yeah, right. What are they saying in their email? What are they saying when they leave a voicemail? That type of thing. So we can replicate that activity across the team and help everybody get better at that. Okay?
Teamwork.
So, exactly. So outreach attempts, customer responses. The third one is initial conversations. I see that as different than responses because a response might be an email back or a voicemail back, or in some way they say, yes, I acknowledge you. Thank you for reaching out. But then the next idea is we want to book an appointment.
Right.
To talk to them. And if I'm an account executive, I'm going to book that appointment for myself. But a lot of people that are on the sales team that are doing this initial outreach are more of like a sales development rep or an SDR, whose job it is to get people's attention and book appointments on behalf of the account executive. So however we're getting to that place of having that initial conversation. So we want to measure that. How many initial conversations are we having? And how many of these responses turned in to an initial conversation? That makes sense?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then the number 4, after we have an initial conversation, we'd like to turn as many of those as possible into what I'm going to call discovery or a deal creation, which also might involve qualification. So asking questions to see, am I talking to the right person?
Right.
Is that organization, in fact, experiencing any kind of challenge that we can help them with? Are they presently trying to achieve a goal that we know we can help them to achieve?
Right.
Have they established any kind of a budget for doing so? So we're really digging into our discovery and trying to create a deal, but also to initially qualify whether we think something is there.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
But then the point is how many of these initial conversations are turning into more of a formal discovery session. Now, in some environments, that initial conversation is the discovery.
Right.
Or at least you're going to start your discovery there.
Right, exactly.
But in different sales environments, one turns into the next. And so if we separate those two, I want to look at conversion rate. How many of these conversations are turning into a discovery call where I might actually literally bring in some other people from my company to have some of those conversations.
Right.
And I might actually do discovery with multiple people in the organization as well, which actually brings us to number 5, which is expand relationships.
Okay.
So I truly believe that you can measure the number of opportunities that you close, I think, is directly proportionate to the number of people you know within that customer's organization.
Yeah, that's so good.
Because if I have just one point of contact, then I'm only really be able to qualify with what that one person thinks.
Yeah.
I'm only able to create a vision of a solution with what that one person wants and needs.
Right.
So as I start to get to know more people and broaden that relationship, I can qualify a lot better. I can build a lot more of paint a vision of how it's going to affect and impact more than just that one person.
Right.
It's going to impact the entire organization. And I can also qualify to see, is the one person I'm talking to and their enthusiasm, is that also true across the organization?
Right.
Or let's say I've got an IT executive who's all excited about some technology, but the CFO and the CEO and the lady in procurement could care less.
Right. Yeah. Are you talking to the right people? I love that. And I can't wait to hear more about that in particular.
So that's expand relationships. That's number 5. And so what I'm trying to say with this is the conversion then is I have an initial discovery conversation. How many of those initial discoveries turn in now to multiple discoveries? How many times can we actually meet with more of the key people, the decision makers, or what I call those who are going to arrive at a conclusion, or let's say may provide approval, and also those people that would influence. So it could be influencers and approvers, all of which are making some kind of a decision.
Right.
There's this, I
think
need
them both.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think there's this fallacy in professional sales where we think I need to find the decision maker and sell to him or her. But in more big ticket, complex B2B sales, there are multiple decision makers.
Yeah.
So broadening this relationship footprint, honestly, it might be one of the most important skills of this profession.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
So
not
that's-
just one person.
No, because that's too much risk.
Yeah.
If I put a ton of time and energy and effort into meeting with and selling to and qualifying and trying to close one person, only to find out that they don't have support more broadly, I can waste a ton of time.
Tons of time.
So the expanding relationships, as I said, it's about more discovery, more deal creation, and more qualification with multiple people. So that's number 5. Number 6 is present, proposal, or plan.
Okay.
So this might be where I'm going to lay down, here's what we think we can do for you, or at least a plan for what we're going to do together, kind of a mutual discovery process to come up with what a proposal might be.
Right.
So that those initial discovery conversations are leading to kind of like finalizing the scope of a project, for example, and putting together a timeline and a plan of what we'd like to propose we move forward with together.
Right.
It could be that proposal could fact and be, here's how we think we can help you. But a lot of times there's multiple steps to take before we can get to that final proposal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's number 6. Number 7 is to present that proposal and pricing.
Okay.
So I break these apart because it's my belief that if you don't define the scope of a project first and get their buy-in on this is a fit, if we don't do that before we introduce pricing, a lot of times then any price is too high.
That's right.
So
they don't think they need it.
They don't think they need it. They don't think they can afford it. Introducing the price can be, as I say, it's like pulling the peg on a hand grenade.
Yeah.
And then you hand it to them, and sometimes they blow themselves up by looking at, you know what they do? They flip through the proposal to get to the very last page.
Where's
and look
the
at
price?
Exactly. What's this going to cost me?
Yeah.
In fact, I have to tell a story.
Yeah.
So a gentleman that I've known for 20-something years moved from one company to the next. And we talked to him a couple times on the phone, and he said, hey, Bill, could you put together a proposal for me of what you'd recommend? So I did exactly what I'm saying here. Here's what we think we can do for you. Here's the timeline of it, et cetera, et cetera. Didn't put any pricing on it. But I sent it over to him and said, let's have a call if you're okay with this to walk through this and finalize this is what you want. So we get on the telephone, and I walk through it with him, and he says, oh, this looks fantastic. I'd actually like to add something here. Let's extend something there. He helped me get just the right format of what he wanted to buy.
Right.
And he said, but I have to tell you, I do have somebody else that is competing for this business. And so I had to look at their proposal too. I'm like, okay. So I call him back again I'm going to walk through pricing with him. And I said, hey, did you get that other proposal? And what did you think of it? Oh, he said, that's not anything I need. I'm like, oh, they didn't address the concerns? He said, well, I don't know. I don't know what they were proposing. I said, well, how do you not know? He said, I got the proposal. I flipped all the way through to the last page, saw the price, way out of my price range. I can't afford that.
Oh, my goodness.
Didn't even look at it.
Didn't even look.
So I walked him through my proposal again and said, where do you want to start, this and that? And he said, I just want to buy one piece of this at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I can afford.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the rest later.
Yes.
Here's the interesting thing. He ended up spending more money with me over the next 12 months than what that initial proposal price from the other guy was.
Wow.
But because I was able to break it down into pieces for him that he felt like he could do, I ended up earning the business.
Yeah, wow.
That's the point about walking through a proposal before you introduce pricing. And then number 8 is when we would either close and or negotiate. Now, a lot of times we see when companies put together their sales process, they'll introduce a negotiation stage before a close stage.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because if a proposal is well written, if you've reviewed the scope of it, if you've talked through the pricing of it, and now you're going to say, does this look good, Mr. Johnson?
Right.
Do you want to move forward with this? Is there any reason you wouldn't want to move forward with this? Asking a good closing question.
Yeah.
I want to see if they'll agree to the proposal as it's written.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
If it's written well, if I'm going to assume that there's going to be negotiation, that means one of two things. I didn't scope it right. With their input.
Right.
Or number 2, I don't think the price that I've put on the paper is worth it. And I'm going to start mentally thinking, yeah, we're going to have to give them some money off because this is probably more than they want to spend. That's my problem. I'm negotiating with myself now. Get them to say that this price is too high. And if it is, then we'll work on negotiate how it works. And so I combine those two things. So let me come back to the point then. I'm going to review these 8 things.
Yeah.
Number of outreach attempts. Customer responses, initial conversation, discover, create, and qualify, expand relationships, get to know more people in the organization, present your proposal or your plan, or I should say present solution and plan, excuse me, present proposal and pricing, and then number 8, close and negotiate.
Yeah.
But here's what I'm trying to really drive home in this discussion. Is that just counting how many of each of those we do does not tell the entire story.
Okay.
Because I can count, let's say, for example, how many discovery meetings did I have? But if I have, let's say, an SDR or somebody else helping me schedule discovery meetings, then it doesn't show whether I, as the account executive, have any capability of doing that, and I can't find or indicate where I need to improve my game.
Okay.
So for another example would be, let's say I'm going to present a solution, and how many of those turn into the conversation around proposal. I can count how many of these I did and how many of those I did, but the question is not how many. The question is how many actually resulted in something. So most CRM systems, unfortunately, don't do this well.
Okay.
They'll count how many of any particular activity, but they don't look at or allow you to calculate conversion rates.
Right. How you got from one to the other.
Or am I capable of getting from one to the other? What's my ratio of getting from one to another?
How could you do that? What's the best way to do that on your own?
Yep. So a lot of people are going to freak out on what I'm just going to say, but the best way to do it is a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, most CRM systems are not set up to do this well. If somebody's got a CRM that does allow this kind of reporting and they can get this data out, that's great.
Yeah.
But dozens of my clients over the years have attempted to do this right out of CRM, and it's darn near impossible.
Yeah. I feel like I saw the phrase spreadsheet guru.
Okay.
And I just feel like you would need to do your own tracking if you're looking for a how to do something or how you're doing and be able to improve.
Yes, that's exactly right. And you've heard me say this before, where performance is measured, performance improves.
Yes.
But I'll be more specific in this case, where performance is measured, then you know you need to improve.
Yeah, right.
Because if I don't have any idea how many discovery meetings are converting into meeting more people and how many of the meeting more people are turning into scoping a solution,
right.
I have no idea what my effectivity actually is. I've got lots of activity, but my effectiveness at each of those activity, I don't know that.
Right.
So the only way I know as a sales leader to be able to coach the people on my team is to measure that effectivity through conversion rates. And when we see conversion rates are low, that's where we go in and provide some coaching, some training, best practices from what our top converters are doing to help everybody on the team get better. And so a spreadsheet, it can be done very simple. What you do is you have across the top these 8 activities or however activities you want to track. And then down the left-hand side, you have opportunities in a pipeline.
Yeah.
And what I tell people to do is just put the date in the square that you engaged in this particular activity. So for opportunity XYZ, I reached out on this date. They finally responded on that date. I had my initial call on such and such date, and actually that was also the discovery call, so I can log that for discovery, perhaps. What day did I actually meet with a few of the other people to expand? What day did I present a solution or a plan? What day did I present a proposal, et cetera? And just by tracking those days, it's going to show us which one converted from this to this to that.
Yes.
And where it comes to an end, and now there's a bunch of blank boxes, that means the deal's stuck.
Right.
If we're not progressing through all of this. And also, if I'm tracking dates, I can look at, well, wait a second now. From the initial conversation to the discovery meeting, there's 5 weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say it also would track time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like how long did it take to get to that first conversation and then why?
Exactly. What's holding us up here? So my first attempt to reach out was in February, and I finally got a response in June.
Yeah, too long.
Well, so maybe what we're seeing here is that they're only attempting to reach out every 3 or 4 weeks or something. I don't want to bug a guy, right? I want to bug him. So they reach out maybe once a month for 2 or 3 months. That's probably not fast enough. We probably need to pick up the pace a little bit to accelerate moving through these various stages. But you can look then at what I call aging. So aging in any particular stage, and when we're not converting as in the time frame that we'd like compared to what other people on the team are doing, then that's an area, an opportunity to get better.
Yeah.
So here's another thing about this. When you start to look at and track this effectivity and these conversion rates, is one thing we could do is look at what's the team average.
Okay.
In terms of how many days does it take to get from this to this, or how many of those does it take to give us one of those? I could look at a team average, but I like to do something a little different. I like to take the average of the top 20%.
Oh, okay.
Here's why. If we just look at average for an entire team, you tend to see deviation to the mean is what it's called.
Okay.
Deviation to the mean means if I look on the average, it takes 4 of these to get one of those.
Yeah.
And I report that to the team, then those who are, it takes 10 of these to get one of those. Like, I got to do this better because I want to get to that place where I'm getting a ratio of 4 to 1. But others on the team who are actually doing 3 to 1 or 2 to 1.
Right.
They think, hey, I got this all figured out. I can kind of let off the gas a little bit here. I can kind of coast. I'm number 1.
Yeah.
So
they don't think they need to really improve.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I like to set a standard and what I call deviate to excellence.
Okay.
So not deviate to average.
Yeah.
Deviate to excellence. What's the average of that top 20% performance in conversion rates, number to number, and also in aging? Who can do that the fastest? That gives us then as a sales leader the ability to say, hey, let's showcase Joanne.
Right.
Because she's really, really good at reaching out to people and getting those initial appointments. Joanne, what are you doing?
Right.
Next Friday,
how are you getting there?
Yeah, you're going to come and do a little workshop for us next Friday. Gives them a chance to showcase their talent, brag a little bit. Some organizations will even tell those top performers, hey, there's an opportunity here for you to teach the team and start to lead the team, which is an opportunity for you to grow, enroll, which then will lead to the next role, whether that's like a senior sales executive or maybe even a sales manager. So there's a lot of opportunity for those top performers to look good and to share their knowledge.
Right, which will help the team all together, because once you hear just even a simple suggestion of this is how I got to this next step,
Yep.
or this is why I called them again, that can really help somebody with their spreadsheet. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a professional trainer for a living. I come in and I do workshops, but I'm the first to admit that when I'm working with a team of 30 people, they're going to learn just as much from each other
Yes.
as they'll learn from me, maybe more than they would learn from me. If we can provide a framework like this, we know what we're going for in terms of activity. We're measuring not just activity, but effectivity, so we can see how we can all get better as a team.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.